Hi everybody, this is Sharia Shahid and you're watching All of Your Business. In All of Your Business, we talk about major economic happenings across the globe and in Pakistan. Without any further delay, let's speak to our guest, Mr. Mehtab Haider. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum assalam.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Sir, my first question to you and the topic I'm going to speak to you about is Middle East is in conflict these days, and due to which Strait of Hormuz have been closed down. So what impact it could bring to the oil prices and how it is going to affect Pakistan?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much for having me. Actually, this ongoing conflict in the Gulf region has resulted into the blockade of Strait of Hormuz, through which more than 20% oil passes through. So it has caused a spike in the oil prices in international market. There are estimates that if this conflict persists and this blockade continues, it might result into increasing the oil prices passing the $100 per barrel mark, psychological mark, and it will have a devastating effect in case of Pakistan. It will have a devastating effect on all oil importing countries, especially in case of Pakistan, because we have seen in the past that sometimes in 2007 and 8 and afterwards, whenever the oil prices increased, but the government preferred not to pass on to the consumers, it resulted into evaporating of hard-earned foreign exchange reserves.
Right.
So it might pave the way for another balance of payment crisis. And there are estimates that Pakistan could absorb any hike in the prices for 6 months to 1 year period.
Right.
But I think Government of Pakistan has constituted a high-powered committee under the convenership of Minister for Finance. It's comprised of 18 members. So, keeping in view the volatile situation in the Gulf region and its impact on the oil prices, and it will devise a strategy. And the strategy is, if the prices increase, the government will be left with no other option but to pass on the escalated prices to the consumers.
Right.
So it might result into another wave of inflationary pressures.
Right.
If this crisis persists for weeks and months.
Right. So, according to your analysis, what do you think about the Middle East conflict, where it is going? And we talked about oil prices, how it is going to impact us overall economic patterns.
Actually, if the crisis persists, it will have very, very negative impact for Pakistan, because in case of Pakistan, we are dependent on importing both the petroleum as well as RLNG. So it will cause a pressure on Pakistan's foreign exchange, and it will also hike inflationary pressures. As we have seen that the CPI based inflation had already touched 7% mark, and it's going to cause a pressure. But in the whole Gulf region, it's very hard to predict that what's going to happen. But there are projections that if it might persist for weeks and months, then it will have caused devastating effect, both for the Gulf region, for the Gulf economies, as well as in case of oil importing countries, especially in case of Pakistan.
Right, right. Sir, having said that, second round of IMF review begins with virtual talks from Turkey. So how do you see it and how it is going to come up for Pakistan?
Actually, Pakistan and IMF are scheduled to hold review talks from uh, February 25th to March 11. First, they arrived in Karachi, and from Monday, they were supposed to uh, hold review parleys in Islamabad. But after the escalating situation in the region, as well as the law and order situation, US has increased its security threat related to its citizens. So IMF got an advisory from its headquarters. Then they preferred to hold review talks virtually. Yesterday on Monday, early in the morning, they held plenary meeting with the Minister of Finance and Economic team. It was an introductory meeting, and then they left Pakistan and they went to Turkey, to Istanbul, to hold the virtual talks. There are some guesses that they might prefer to continue the virtual talks from Turkey, but there are under consideration that they might prefer to go back to Washington and then hold the virtual talks and conclude the review talks from Washington. They haven't yet decided, but review talks will be held virtually to accomplish the third review under the extended fund facility and the second review under the climate finance. So Pakistan expects that in case of evolving a staff level agreement, Pakistan will be able to get $1.2 billion from the IMF, provided getting approval from the IMF's executive board.
Right. So, what is your expert analysis saying about it?
Actually, Pakistan and IMF will have to evolve consensus on the macro and fiscal framework for the next budget. If this consensus struck, then the staff level agreement will be signed. But it might IMF prefer to remain continuing talk with the Pakistani authorities till the finalization of the budget.
Right.
So it depends that how much they are going to satisfy. But in the plenary meeting, they have expressed satisfaction on the overall performance achieved by Pakistan in the first half from July to December period.
Right, right. So where we are talking good about Pakistan's economy, there is a certain news that I would like you to talk about it, and that is Pakistan's trade deficit has worsened by 25% in the last 8 months. So how do you see it, and what are the implications of it?
Actually, trade deficit has been widening, keeping in view the tariff rationalization which was approved in the last budget under the IMF program. So our imports are increasing at the rapid pace, and exports are declining around 7%. So keeping in view this trend, the overall trade deficit has been widened to more than $25 billion in first 8 months period, which is almost more than 8% increase, keeping in view the same period of the last financial year. So Pakistan will be able to manage the current account deficit, keeping in view the increase in remittances. But it's an alarming sign, because whenever trade deficit widened, it resulted into escalation of current account deficit. And current account deficit is good until and unless you manage financing without debt creating inflows.
Right.
But if we are not able to manage through FDI or remittances, then it will become a problem. So in this financial year, it is projected that the remittances are going to cross or touch $42 billion. So Pakistan is going to face the current account deficit, although it will be around less than 1% of GDP, but it is a sign that needs to be plugged. in the next financial year. Pakistan will have to achieve export-led growth if we want to avoid another bailout package from the IMF.
Right. So the last topic which I'm going to talk about is really important, and I would really like you to simplify it for our audience, and that is imported used vehicles have inflicted about rupees 60 billion loss. Rupees 60 billion is huge, and 40,000 jobs in fiscal year 2025, and this has been reported by Competition Commission of Pakistan. Sir, how this could happen, and what is the link between them? Can you tell us?
Actually, according to the Competition Commission of Pakistan's report on the auto sector, they have come up with the estimates that in last financial year 2025, imported used cars entered into Pakistan around more than 35,000. So, according to them, it's going to replace the local manufacturers, car makers. So that's why they have estimated that if those cars have been manufactured in Pakistan, it would have resulted into increased economic activities, and it would have resulted into netting additional revenues on account of sales tax, income tax, withholding taxes, import in terms of the spare parts. But on the other side, Competition Commission of Pakistan also talked about the problems facing by the auto sector. In case of quality, they have compared in their report the qualitative aspects of other parts of the world, especially the neighboring countries. And they have also revealed another fact, that 94% households in Pakistan don't own any single car in their households.
Right.
So it's a huge number. Affordability is another issue. So there's a need to put in place a competitive environment both for the local manufacturers as well as for the imported used cars.
Right.
But one should not be given advantage at the cost of others.
Right.
So that should be the way forward, and that's why the government of Pakistan has come up with the rationalization plan. And we have discussed in our earlier podcast that out of 3 imported schemes, 2 have been abolished, 1 will be continued, but with the stringent condition.
Right. Right.
So the government is trying to create a balance
Right.
on this account.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Always welcome.
That was all for today. If you want us to talk about more topics, do let us know in the comments. Till then, keep watching All of Your Business. This is Shahryar signing out.